nation chrétienne. Nous sommes un frère en Jésus-Christ, liés par la parole de Dieu. Aimer l'Afrique, c'est notre sœur. Le créateur des cieux et la terre n'a-t-il pas dit après 50 ans, laissez l'esclave s'en aller, attends la liberté, Africa. Africa, 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 attends ma liberté, Africa, Africa, non, 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 Africa, non, non, attends ma liberté. Oh Seigneur, tu es la plus grande révélation de l'Afrique. Il n'y a que toi qui connais le bouton sur lequel il faut appuyer pour que l'Afrique soit sauvée. Dis un mot pour l'Afrique. Dis un mot pour l'Afrique afin que l'Afrique soit sauvée. Oh Jesus. Africa, 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 attends ma liberté. Africa, Africa, non, 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 Africa, non, Africa, non, non, attends ma liberté. Vous amassez des ressources chez moi, après vous me les prêtez. Cela est un prêt sans fin, déliez-moi, je vous en prie. J'ai essayé de m'épanouir pour liguer mes frères contre moi. J'ai essayé de me libérer de vous pour les rébeller contre moi. Africa, 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 attends ma liberté. Africa, 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 attends ma liberté.
There's a great creator who's just that fake. He won't take long to wonder us. Justice and fairness. We have shed a lot of tears for more than enough. Enough is enough. Africa.
Africa,
Oh yeah.
Africa,
Oh yes.
Africa, attends ma liberté.
Together united,
Africa,
we will stand and fight. Oh, we got
Africa, attends ma liberté. Africa, 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 attends ma liberté.
Our Majesty Ra, Nimbumbaloa. He was chosen among the 7 to carry out a great duty, a work of wonder and success. He did it well. All he ever asked was to be respected and recompensed for the work he did. Was he recompensed? No! Was he recompensed? No! 7 cosmic communities, all given to sheeps, and good-for-nothing humans. Humans that we formed and shaped with our hands. Humans that we taught how to live and survive in the environment. Humans that we taught how to master the animal body. All because they are sons of the force upstairs. The force must fall. We rule Babylon and most of the earth. We were locked up and out of control, but now we have control. The sheeps messed up and created an opportunity for us. And now their home is closer to us than ever. Infiltrate them, generals. Be alert. We have to win. Deputy, how many of ours have infiltrated their realm?
All hail Mfumu Solomon. We currently stand at 2 billion successful infiltrations. Up to 3 billion souls come directly from Babylon. Many of our agents run that place.
Very good, but it is not enough. I want infiltrations in all areas in space. Take advantage of their free will. It was given to them as a power, but they have no understanding of it or how to use it. We will use it to our advantage. My people, we only have 400 years left to take full control of the harvest. The 10 virgins will miss the wedding. A piece of the Force plans to visit to reinforce them and lock us out. We will be ready just like the last time when we killed the sun.
And today we're going to dive right into our session for today on what is death. But before I dive into today's session, I would like to get your input and your views, and what are your views and what are your perceptions, and what is basically your understanding, my dear brothers and sisters, of exactly death. You know, in the African community, in many places, people are so scared of dying. Mm. You know, some people even say that if you die, you go to heaven. Then to have a nice life in heaven, then why don't you want to die right now? Why are you so scared? So death is such an important topic that we have to talk about to really understand what is death. And when we say death, do we mean spiritual death, or do we mean thank you so much, Brother Frederick. Have an amazing time at work. You can watch the lecture, the class on YouTube, and we really hope you are here to contribute. Thank you so much, Brother Frederick. So I would like to know, we can start with Michelle Hiase. Michelle Hiase, thank you for joining us today. What are your thoughts on death? What is death to you? Michelle Hiase, what do you think? What are your thoughts on death? What is death to you? Michelle, you there?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yes,
Okay.
Michelle.
To me, it's okay medically. It's when someone stops breathing.
Okay.
It's
Someone
when
stops breathing.
breathing. The heart is not pumping. There's no life in them. Spiritually, soul leaves the body. It's when the soul separates from the body.
Mm-hmm.
Where it goes now, I don't know. Then
Interesting.
If someone sleeps, okay,
Mm-hmm.
someone is sleeping, dead, are waiting for the coming of Jesus Christ. That's what I've been taught all my life.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful for you to say that. Thank you so much, Michelle, for saying that. Let's have Coffee Fresh. What are coffee? What are your thoughts? What is death to you? What do you understand by death, Coffee?
Yeah, I think it's just departure of the soul to another realm. But as to where the soul goes, I don't know if anybody knows where it goes. But
interesting.
Yeah, that's my view.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Coffee. But as Ivai Chisike, what are your thoughts on death? What is Ivai Chisike? Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but I think since we three spirit, soul, and physical. So death, I've believed that it is a point when the three separate. Meaning that it is the soul that dies, as in its existence.
So the soul dies.
Its existence comes to a halt, or it comes to an end, and then the soul. The body now goes back to the ground, or the dust from which it came.
Interesting.
And then the spirit now is the one that is left. For now, I would say wandering. So wandering where to?
Interesting.
I believe the Creator knows. So I think death is that point where the three separate to exist in one, as one entity, should I call it? Yes, that's what I believed.
Thank you for that, Mr. Zibai. Thank you for that so much. Miss Cynthia Kehinde, what are your thoughts on death, Miss Cynthia?
Well, the body separates. So we return back to Tatanazambi, and we become a spiritual being with the ancestors.
Hallelujah.
So it's a reborn, I guess, with the Most High. So he's the creator, and whatever he makes, like you said, in your teaching in number 8 lesson of life, we return basically back to our spirituality, to the Most High.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Miss Cynthia. I can see Brother Sipo Koz has joined us also. Brother Sipo, welcome, Brother Sipo. How are you doing, Brother Sipo? Brother Sipo Koz has joined us. Brother Sipo, can you hear us? Okay,
Hello.
let's have.
Yes. How is everyone?
Oh, we're doing good. You can switch off your video so we can hear you properly. Yeah.
My video, is it on?
Okay. Yeah, Brother Sipo, how are you doing? How has the week been?
Oh, the week has been good. Yeah, too much resting most of the times. No, not too busy. So it's just a matter of relaxing. Yeah. Just a matter of relaxing. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Brother Sipo, today. Brother Sipo, what are your thoughts on death? What is death? What do you understand by death?
The way I see it, on my side, we do not die. Let me just put it that way. We do not die. A soul doesn't die. Only the body gets tired. The soul doesn't die.
Interesting.
Hence, I'll make a typical example. You would find out sometimes that maybe your uncle's child, he behaves or she behaves like someone who passed on. You know, things like that. The soul jumps to the other body, from body to body to body, body to body.
Wow. Very interesting, Brother Sipo, for that input. Thank you for that, Brother Sipo. Let's have Brother Akot. Brother Akot from Kenya, but from South Sudan. Brother Akot, what are your thoughts on death, Brother Akot Maku? Yes, Brother Akot, you there with us? Brother Akot, okay. Brother Akot is Brother Akot, can you hear us? You can unmute your mic.
Yes, brother. How are you? Yes, in my own perspective, that varies, depending on two different definitions. Traditionally, it has been defined or it has been perceived as irreversible cessation of breathing. But now, due to constant development of technology, it has been also, defined as cessation, irreversible cessation of life, because you can at some time die and be put on a machine, and that distinguishes it from traditional definition of death. So basically, it can be two way, either way, either cessation of breathing or cessation of life if you are on a machine. So that is my aspect of death, depending on the two definitions that I have.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Brother Akot, for that definition. We're going to jump into our lecture for today, but before that, we'll have Brother Brahima, we'll have Mr. Ndai after the presentation. Brother Brahima, what are your thoughts on death?
That when I before, when I think of that, it gives me the chills. See, but now when I think of with African spirituality, believing in African spirituality, I'm not in fear of death anymore, because death is just a separation from the physical body, which is just a vessel for our soul or the spirit. And also think of eternity, because sometimes I wonder how long will eternity take. But with African spirituality, where we move to the spiritual, to another dimension. So that's my own take.
Thank you so much for that, Brother Brahima. Brother Jesse has joined us from the UK. Welcome, Brother Jesse. We are so happy to have you joining us today. Brother Jesse is basically a student in the UK. Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump into our lecture for today, our class on what is death. The understanding of death in the African community, because many of us are religious, Christians or Muslims, there's a different definition of death. Some people in Christianity say you go somewhere, you go and rest, you wait for others, the judgment, things like that. Some people say, oh, when someone dies, It means they have eaten him. Let's go and pray for this person to come back. You even see, even in Catholic, when a person dies, they bring a priest to come and pray for the dead to be able to go to a better place. But today we're going to dive into an understanding of the knowledge of African ancestors. How did our African ancestors perceive death, my dear brothers and sisters? You know, many people have no understanding or comprehension of death and of the world that we live in. That is why in today's class, we're going to help you a little bit so you can be able to understand death in a simple terms. In a Zola Bantu class, you know, sometimes when you just teach by speaking, it's very difficult for people to understand. But when you speak, when you teach, and then you're also showing some images and graphics, it makes learning and understanding much easier. So at Zola Bantu, we try to teach using images to be able to give you an understanding. You can see, for example, on this picture, the body has died, is on the bed, but the soul has gotten up from the bed. It means a human being is a spiritual being that lives in a physical body. The body that you have is only a house. It's like you've entered into a car. So the car is not you. You are the driver. So the body that you have, that is not you, Miss Cynthia. No. Your spirit lives, your soul lives inside that particular body. Your body is formed from your mom and your dad. They come together in a union, and then your mother creates 23 chromosomes, characteristics physically of how you would look, whether you're going to be tall, whether you're going to be light-skinned or dark-skinned, whether you're going to have a broad nose or sharp nose, thick lips, your hair color. All those information is in the 23 chromosomes that your mother makes from the egg. Your father sends the 23 chromosomes of his own characteristics to the sperm. They combine, and then it begins to grow. So that physical body that begins to grow in your mother's womb, it is a characteristics of your parents. But you, the spirit that comes to incarnate, to enter and take possession of this body, you are not connected to your parents physically. No, you are connected to your parents spiritually in affinity. We call it affinity. We shall speak to it more in details. What kind of spirits comes into a particular union? It's not because you have blue eyes, you have brown legs, or you have nice thighs. No, it follows the family way. It is in the same spiritual affinity, likeness. So let me give you a simple example. Like I said, we're going to use images for you to be able to understand. You see this entire universe or this entire world. Let's consider it as if it's two houses. The first house, house number one, is where we are currently living at the moment, right now, but our court, right now, but as divine. But the second house is a different place. It also has house, it also has planets and countries. In the other house, house number two, there are also planets, there are also countries, there is also a moon, a sun, trees, and oceans, just like you see here. It's also available in house number two. But you and I, we are currently in house number one, which we call the physical world. House number two is the spiritual world. Let's move on. Now, the difference between these two houses is that to visit house number one, you have to be born of a woman. If a spirit wants to come to house number one, the spirit needs to come through Miss Cynthia, Miss Michelle, Miss Tendai. These are the women. They are the bridge. They are the ones that can allow a spirit from house number two to come to house number one. Miss Cynthia comes together with her husband, or Miss Tendai comes together with her husband. They create the physical body. And then the spirit from house number two comes into that pregnancy and is born into house number one as a baby, my dear brothers and sisters. So in house number one, we wear the earth soil. This body that we wear, it was made from the soil of the physical universe we were living at the moment. But inside of us, we have another body. The spirit also has its own body. But that body that we have, it's on the inside of us. When we're here on the earth, that body is not seen. It is not visible. It's not visible because your physical body is covering it. It's on the inside. So look at, for example, these images. In house number one, it creates for you a physical body. Your spirit lives in your body by the solar plexus. You can see on the in the image where I've put it down there. For the man, it's also down just below the stomach there, just by the stomach. That's where the solar plexus is, the heart chakra. That's where your spirit resides. Same thing with a woman. So if you look at a human being, it's almost resemblance to an onion. Many of you know how to cook. You cook in your house. If you cut an onion, you find that there are many layers in an onion. In the illustration, you can see I've shown that the outer shell of the onion, the most outward shell, is what you have right now, the physical body. Okay? Hands, legs, mouth, and nose. But just inside your physical body, again, you have what we call the astral body. The astral body is a body of feelings and emotions. It is a body that allows you to speak. People think that when you're speaking, your words are created by your mouth. No. When you're speaking, your words is created in the astral body. Your physical body is just a converter. It only converts your intuitions via emotions and feelings into words which come out in your mouth by vibrating the air. So your brain does not create the words that you take out to speak to us. No, it comes from your astral body. So you have a physical body, yes. You also have an astral body, a body of emotions and feelings. Now, if we enter deeper, you also have a mental body. It is a body that allows you to fabricate thoughts. All the thoughts that you have in your head, to make those thoughts, it comes from the mental body. If you descend again, you have what we call the first energetic body. You have an energetic body of the first kingdom of the physical creation. We shall speak about this in depth. If you enter deeper, you have what we call the second energetic body, and then the third energetic body, and finally you have your spirit. So when your spirit is leaving, house number 2, it's coming to house number 1 via a woman. It wears, in total, we shall speak about it in spirituality teachings, it wears in total 9 bodies. My dear brothers and sisters, you think the physical body that you have is the only body that you have. That is the body of house number 1 that allows you to exist here. But you have in total 9 bodies. We shall speak in details about these 9 bodies. But for now, I've just given you a few of these bodies. Your ability to speak is because you have the astral body. Your ability to think and fabricate thoughts is because you have the mental body. And to bring into action your thoughts and your words, you are given the physical body of house number 1. And then you begin to do things practically in the world. Every idea that you get, it's first in your mental body. Your mental body receives the idea, it sends it to your brain. Your brain now uses the 5 senses of the physical body to bring to life that project. For example, you have a project of designing let's say, a new car. That idea of a car, you already have it in your mind, in your mental body, that I want the car to look like this. You have it as images in your mental body, but those images are sent to your brain. Your brain now conveys those images. It sees in the environment, okay, which materials do I need to combine to bring this idea I have of a car in my head into life? So your spirit is located by the solar plexus. It sends information to your brain through the cerebellum. The cerebellum sends the information to the cerebrum, your brain, and then your brain identifies the materials physically in the environment to bring to life whatever you are thinking in your spirit. My dear brothers and sisters, so this is the structure of you as a human being right now. Our ancestors knew these things, but Western education cannot teach you this, because if they teach you this, they begin to wake you up. Because religion cannot teach you this. Religion has to keep you in belief of dogmas and precepts. You are a human being. Once you die, you go to heaven and rest. No, my dear brothers and sisters. So people who practice, for example, witchcraft, actually many of you have heard about stories. You see at night, they'll do an incantation. It means they'll do some words and some spells, and then they'll get out of their body. and go to bewitch people. But when they leave their physical body on the bed to go and bewitch people, they go out with what body? Occultists and people, my dear brothers and sisters, who basically practice witchcraft, when they leave their physical body on the bed, they go out in their astral body. Many of them go out in their astral body. They leave their physical bed on the. You think you're sleeping on the bed with your husband or your wife. The physical body is there, but they have already left the physical body in their astral body. They have gone to different places to do certain things. I think many of you know about this. It happens like this. It's because they know how to disconnect from the body. You and I don't have that knowledge or how we can disconnect, but there are some spells and incantations that you can do that can allow you to leave your physical body. It is against nature, but people who do it are mostly people who practice sorcery. They have the techniques on how to do this. So, my dear brothers and sisters, they go out with the body that many people call the astral body. I'm sure you've heard of people who confess. Yes, exactly. Astral projection. It is possible, Paolo. When you astral project, it means you leave your physical body, you go into the astral world. When you go into the astral world, you can have meetings, you can have so many things can happen because the astral world is just like the physical world, but of a different dimension. So not only witches and wizards have this body that can project. Each and every one of us, we have this body that we call the astral body. Our Creator made us with this body. It also has eyes, my dear brothers and sisters. Your physical body has eyes, 2 eyes. Even the astral body has eyes. Even the mental body has eyes. So if you multiply 9 bodies by 2 eyes, you know that you have 18 eyes. We shall jump into this into a different session. So when you go out of your physical body you appear in your astral body, that astral body becomes visible to the astral dimension. It means when you are sleeping on the bed, for example, you are dreaming. Many of you sleep on the bed and you are dreaming. You are dreaming, you are eating somewhere, you are playing football somewhere, but in a different dimension. Because in that dimension, it becomes a reality because that astral body becomes visible in that particular dimension. So as we were saying, my dear brothers and sisters, we have 2 houses. When a person dies in house number 1, to die in house number 1, you only appear in the dimension of house number 2. But house number 2 is not in a distance of 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers. No, it is the distance in terms of vibrational frequencies. You see, in house number 1 that we are in at the moment, it vibrates at 50 hertz per second. It means what? Take an object and put it before your eyes and move it in a speed 50 times per second. In 1 second, move it 50 times. You can see it. But if you increase the speed, for example, you move that object fast before your eyes, say 1,000 times in 1 second, it becomes invisible. Because you have increased the frequency. So it means we see things that are vibrating at the same frequency as our eyes. Everything that you're seeing here visible with your eyes is because it's vibrating at the same frequency as your eyes. We smell, we taste, and we hear things that are the same frequency as our nose, our tongue, and our ears. When I'm speaking to you right now, my dear brothers and sisters, you can hear me. Why? Because my words are calibrated to the 50 hertz frequency of this physical dimension. But the body, which is inside of us, our spirit, it is in a frequency of the second house. That is why it's not visible to you and me, but it's there. Look at this good example. You see, for example, radio waves. You can see their effects. You can see me now. If I switch on my video, you can see my image, but my image has gone at a frequency in the air. But when it's moving in the air, you cannot see it. Nonetheless, it is at a frequency which my eyes cannot see it, but it does not mean that it does not exist. No, it is simply at a different frequency. It is the same thing with our body, which is inside. The bodies which are inside our body, our physical body. It exists, but it is at a different frequency that our animal body of house number one, our brain cannot calibrate it. That is why we cannot see. Look at these pictures. This man is filming a journalist. The images, the camera is able to capture the image, the frequency of the image when it's filming the guy who's speaking. The frequency of those images enter into the camera. The camera has an instrument that can send those frequencies into your TV. The frequency arrives in your TV, and then your TV also has another instrument inside that transforms those frequencies into images for you to see visually. Like right now, when you're seeing this presentation, it's because the frequency in your phone and your computer has been converted into visual images, and it's visible to you. Same thing when you're making a phone call. Your lips vibrate the air at a certain frequency. That vibration of the air in a certain frequency enters your phone microphone. Your phone microphone sends that frequency into the cell towers. The cell towers send it to the closest cell towers, for example, to you, Miss Cynthia, and then those frequencies enter your phone, and then they come out as voice, and you hear, but Avi is calling me, and we begin to speak. So when you increase the frequency of something, it becomes invisible. It does not mean that it does not exist. No, because people think that, okay, I only believe what I see. Okay, if you only believe what you see, what about, do you see the radio waves? Do you see many images traveling in the air? This all is visible, my dear brothers and sisters. Look at this lady here. When a person dies, he or she will find himself in a different body. So once you die, once your physical body dies, you arise in your astral body. And you find yourself in a different body, and your physical body is laying on the ground. People who are in the physical dimension will be crying, oh, Brother Martin, where are you? You're gone. But Brother Martin is right there, standing next to his body, but in a different vibration and frequency. But because you are in the physical dimension, you are locked. You cannot see a person who is in the astral dimension unless you have the gift of clairvoyance. People who have a gift of clairvoyance, they can see things of a different dimensions. It is a blessing to have that kind of gift. You see, my dear brothers and sisters. So when you leave your physical body, like this lady over here, you arise in your astral body. It allows you to continue your evolution. But the question is, where do you go? So when a person dies, when he's on his way to the second house, but before you go to the second house, you have to participate in your funeral. We go and attend funerals. We are crying, oh, he's gone. Where has he gone to? We'll miss you. But many times the person who has died is right there in the funeral place. But you cannot see the person because they're in a different dimension. Then they're now in their astral dimension. You see? So when you're going to that second house, in that second house, there are also many countries. There are also many places where they will place you in a place where that resembles you. Because, my dear brothers and sisters, every action that you were doing on earth is recorded. You're sending energies into the spiritual world. So, for example, if you're a thief, and once you just die, your physical body, you died in a dimension where you were a thief. When you go into the astral world, you go into a place that resembles you. You will go into a universe where there are thieves. We shall speak about this more in spiritual awakening and wake up the conscience. So it means, depending on how you lived physically on the earth, when you die, you go to a place that resembles you. Nothing like, oh, when you die, you go for resting. No. So what is this journey? You die, you participate in your funeral, and then you have to appear before the 72 judges. The Muslim took this preaching of 72 judges to say that once you blast yourself with a bomb, when you go to heaven, you find 72 virgins waiting for you. It's nonsense. It's not virgins. You kill yourself on the earth thinking that when you die, you go to heaven, paradise with 72 virgins. No, you go before the 72 judges. We shall speak about this in spiritual awakening, about the conscious. Now, when you pass through these judges, They judge, they show your life like a movie before you. Everything that you did, they play it before you. And once they find out that, okay, if you lived in the right way, you enter into the spiritual world in a room. Like I said, every house has rooms. So there are rooms where there are people who are stubborn. There are rooms where people who did a good thing. So they place you in a spiritual universe that resembles the way that you lived on the physical world. Some people go to rooms where they are crying. So a black person, my dear brothers and sisters, you fear death because a black man thinks that after death there is no life. No, there's a beautiful life, but that life will depend on how you walked on the earth. This body is physical. It is a body that at the beginning of the world we took it from the animals, from the first primate, but the spirit comes from the spiritual world. It has the spiritual form of our creator. The animal has a brain, the intellect. It thinks, but the spirit also has intuitions, you. So you are the one that is normally supposed to lead or direct your animal body. But we have built a civilization where the animal has more power, the intellect is dominating more than the intuition. The animal has started to dominate all our desires. We have built a world according and in function to the desires of the animal, but we actually came into the world to spiritualize. We came to colonize this physical dimension with our spiritual dimension. We came here as spiritual beings to colonize the physical dimension with our spiritual virtues, but unfortunately, we came here and we were stuck. So death is a passage to the other side. You meet your other friends who have died. You enter into judgment of God, and after you complete the judgment, others go to prison. I'm thinking many of you know they speak of hell, but hell is not how it is depicted in the Bible. Hell is just a prison where you go to a place where that resembles you. People who do so many evil things, they go to the prison called Babylon. For some people, Babylon is the United States. The Babylon is Europe. No, Babylon is a spiritual dimension where people who did evil things are locked up in that prison of Babylon. It is not on earth. No, Babylon is the lower astral world. It is a place where people who did so many evil things go. This is very great information we're sharing with you to Zola Bantu to be able to make you understand that the word of God that came into Africa in the 14th century, it was not good. They trafficked and manipulated a lot of things. But we Africans, we knew the sense of life. We knew where we came from, and we knew where we were going. And sometimes if you're going back after you die and there's roadblock for you there because you did so many evil things in the world, you have to come back. So look at this chart. You die, you appear before the 72 judges, and if you lived in the right way, it means if you lived in love, you lived in purity, you lived in justice, you treated people right way, you brought blessings into humanity, you ascension into the higher dimensions. We shall speak about this in depth in spiritual awakening because of the conscience. But if you did so many evil things that there's no way you can rise, you have to come back and repair, you reincarnate. So today, if you can hear me right now, it's because you have come to repair. Jokes aside. 7.8 billion people on earth right now, many of them have come to repair. Others have come to help others repair. Others have come to improve on where they stopped from. But some people have done so much evil that there's not even a need for them to repair. They go into Babylon and they're locked in prison, my dear brothers and sisters. This is actually in prison where the previous carrier of light, Ra, Lucifer, is in prison. So many people who follow his energies and ways of life go where Ra or Re is. So, like I said, either you ascend or you have to come back to repair. Now, when you're coming back to repair, there are also laws that explain how a person returns. We don't just return like that. Oh, let's have a child, blah, 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 blah. No. Every time you decide to have a child, just know it's an ancestor who's coming back to repair. If really is coming from prison, it's coming back to repair. So, we have a spirit in us that is the real man that is traveling to many planets of many frequencies, so he can come to do his experience, so he can be able to return to the spiritual kingdom. Look at the parable of the prodigal son. He left his father's house, and then he came back to his father's house. Master Yeshua was speaking about this particular humanity. We left the spiritual kingdom. Now we need to find our way back to the spiritual kingdom. So when you work here on earth, it is the body that wears out. Don't be attracted by having a fancy house and materialistic life. What's more important is for you to grow closer to the Creator by attaining consciousness. So there are laws that basically decide on how you can return. There are three key laws which basically hold the whole law of reincarnation. One is the law of justice. Two is the law of attraction of affinities. And then three is the law of reciprocal of effects, a return shock. We shall speak about this in Life 101, reincarnation, how we reincarnate based on these three laws. The law of justice, it means the law of balance. The law of attraction of affinities, it means whatever the likes and likes attract, things that are different separate. It's very difficult for a person who lives in love to attract a spirit who does not have a life of love in his or her experience. But a person who lives in a wicked way, it's more likely for them to attract a spirit to incarnate their child who also has a history of wickedness. So it means if you're a thief, you as a husband, you're a thief, your wife is a thief, most likely because of these three laws, you might attract a spirit who's also a thief, who has come to repair, but has come through your affinity because you're pulling. There's a pulling when a child is around, when a woman is around the 5th month, that is when the spirit incarnates. So at that particular time, it comes by affinity. It follows these three laws of affinity. We shall speak about an example of a woman who we shall speak about an example of a woman who became a fool and then she came back to repair. We shall speak about many other stories to explain these laws of incarnation, of how we incarnate back. So there are three main laws we shall speak about in depth in Life 101. So if a person understands spirituality, you will fear the Creator. You will not cheat your friends. You will become a person who's serious, a woman who's serious in life. You give a sense to your life because you know that if you don't live right, there will be a delay for you to ascend. So it's good to fight for Africa. Let's unite for Africa. Let's bring all the African nations together. Let's live and have a good economy as a strong army. But first fight for your own salvation. Fight for your spot in spirituality first. If we fail this fight to liberate Africa, our children will continue the fight. But fight first for your salvation. As Zola Bantu, we're trying to fight to see how we can unite Africans, have a good economy, have a good life physically, yes, but to attain spiritual values. We have to have a good life physically to allow us to attain spiritual maturity, attain consciousness. You see? So it's useless when you fight for Africa, you give your entire life fighting for Africa physically, but when you die, you go into prison. It's useless. You see? So fight for Africa in love. If you die, your brothers, your sisters will continue the fight, but fight first for your space to return to the spiritual kingdom. Because you fight here in heart, you're protesting against evil, you're using evil mechanisms. You're protesting against the government, you're going to burn people's houses, raping women, insulting. You are using negative energies to chase out negativity. You are just creating for yourself karma and karma. So fight evil, but don't use evil mechanisms. The kingdom of darkness cannot overthrow the kingdom of darkness. You cannot use darkness to chase away darkness. It's a waste of time, my dear brothers and sisters. So Yes, let's fight to liberate Africa so that we can live in a good environment for our children who are coming. They should come and use this physical experience to attain spiritual values and grow in spiritual maturity. So you are a driver in a car. Yes, it's important for your car to have the fuel. It's good to clean your car sometimes, change the tires, put some nice music and perfume in your car, change the seats, make it look fancy, but you have to get to town. Your goal is to get to town with that car. So you are here, you sit in your car, you are cleaning it and making the car look nice, but you're not going to town. Your goal in life, you're not attaining it using the car, but you're just enjoying the nice, how the car looks, enjoying the car, how it looks and taking care of the car. No, use the car to get to town. Use your physical experience to attain your spiritual goal of gaining consciousness. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa. So Zola Bantu class is very important, decolonizing your mind, making you understand spirituality. And this is just foundation. Because when we dive into Life 101, we speak about spiritual awakening, we're going to reveal so many secrets to you of African ancestors, how we understood life. So physical death, my dear brothers and sisters, it is just a passage to the other side. You have to rise basically in dimensions into a higher realm, but it will depend on how you lived on the physical world. There are so many books in the Zola Bantu library that you can be able to read to be able to understand how this particular there are many books that teaches on many of these things to be able to understand spirituality. So my dear brothers and sisters, our goal here is this teaching is not for your physical body. No, forget. This teaching is for the spirit. You the spirit, we're teaching you these things so you can be able to take control of your body. The body, it's good to take care of the body. And sometimes it's very difficult, especially if you have already trained your body to do certain things by habits. It's very difficult. It's a battle, I'm telling you. You want to stop eating those unhealthy food, but you've already made your body, your car so used to consuming petrol. And now you want to feed it diesel. It's a problem. If you're used to feeding your car petrol and now you want to give it diesel, it's a problem. You see, so you have, in your living experience, you have trained your body to a certain way of lifestyle. So it's very difficult for you to just to change. Imagine you climb into a donkey and you have been feeding this donkey grass for 10 years. All of a sudden you want the donkey, you want the donkey to now feed on only water. It's very difficult. The donkey will fight you. Your body will fight you. You want to now live healthy, your body will fight you. You want to make good decisions, your body will fight you. You want to stop those pleasures, your body will fight you. Your intellect and all the dogmas they have taught you and precepts. 15 years of high school, they taught you materialistic ideas. Life is about, getting that job, getting that marriage. Today in Africa, we celebrate marriage as if it's the achievement of life. Women are looking for your husband. For her, she wants to get married. That is the most important thing. Ingala we say nabala. They are praying. People even go to church to pray for marriage, which is just a physical thing. Marriage is just here. We married to bring together our affinities. Your masculine activity and my masculine activity and my feminine activity come together. We don't marry because we want to have children. No. Now you have understood how the spirit comes into the body. You even be serious now if you want to have a child. But you'll be thinking, at my level of life right now, I'm not at the good spiritual level. Now, what if I have a child? What will happen? I'm going to bring a spirit like me. So, my dear brothers and sisters, spirituality is interesting, but spirituality makes a person become serious. For 6,000 years, the Western world have led the world into perdition. Our spirit has been completely put into prison. The movie The Matrix is very important. You see how locked we are in prison. Our body just moves around like an animal with the intellect. We have built big universities, Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, big universities in Africa, but we're only teaching the animal. All these universities you see in the world, many of them, they just teach the animal how to live nice, economics, finances, accounts, IT. All these are just teachings to teach the animal man. They never teach the spirit. because the spirit feeds on spiritual knowledge like this to attain spiritual maturity. Your Chana Masumba strengths as well. So this brings us basically to the close of our session for today on death. I think now you have understood what is death, where do we go, but this is just foundation. We shall dive in depth into each of these topics in Spiritual Awakening Life 101. You understand in depth, when you die, because here we've only shown you, okay, when you die, you go out of your astral body and then you appear in your astral body and then you go before the 72 judges. But we shall explain to you in depth when you die, where do you go? And when you're returning, what happens? How did they create for you a karmic body for you to return? Because you see people on the streets today, they have no legs. Some people have no hands. Some people, another person was born blind. You're asking yourself, why was this child born blind? Is God unjust? No. God is just. There is no injustice in the universe. You spend your entire life killing people, chopping people's hands, cutting people's eyes. You die. You appear in your astral body. You appear before the 72 judges. They show you your life before you. Why did you live like this, killing people? People like Hitler, people like Obama, all these killers. Why did you do this, people? Why did you kill people like this? Huh? You cannot rise. No, roadblock. You have to come back and repair. But because of what you were doing on the earth, the energies you were sending of killing and chopping people's hands, when returning back, they create for you a karmic body. Your mom and your dad have sex on the bed. They create the body. Your mom has the baby. Now, because your karmic body, they've created it because of your past life experiences of killing people and chopping people's hands. They create for you a karmic body that has no hands. You're born into your mother's body on the world here, but with no hands. Why? Karma. So there is no liberty without responsibility. Where you are right now in the world, you are supposed to be there because of the decisions that you made in your past experiences. So we are the authors of our destiny, my dear brothers and sisters. Oh, in their family, they are so rich. How come we are so poor? How come those countries are so developed and we are only poor countries in Africa? Why? You never ask the questions. But spirituality has the answers to these questions. Why? Why would God send one child to the family of Meghan and Prince Harry and another child in poverty in somewhere in Namibia over there, in extreme poverty? Why would God send one child to be born in the house, for example, of Miss Cynthia, who's in the States, comfortable life, such a beautiful life, and another child is being born in a woman somewhere in Congo in the middle of a war? There are bombs everywhere. Is there injustice? Why? Why do you have so much hate for white people? You hate white people so much. Every time you see a white person, you feel like killing them. Why do you hate white people so much? Maybe in your past reincarnation, you were a white man that enslaved Africans. Now you hate white people, but you were once a white person because the body, remember, the body is just the vessel. It's not your spirit. You were once a slave masters in Europe. You killed many Africans in the ships. You shipped many people, destroyed families, scattered people. And now your karma has brought you back in a black skin. Oh, voila. And now you are protesting against racism in the world. Oh my God. Now you even wrote a book, 500 pages, why we should hate racism. You are repairing your karma. So sometimes whatever you're facing in life, you have to ask yourself questions. Are these not my karmic returns? How can I fix it? So spirituality makes you understand these things. But this cannot be taught to you in church. Never. They'll never teach you this in church. No. My sister, it's God. God gives and God takes. My sister, it's fine. Continue to pray. Trust in the Lord. God will bless you. You are married with your husband. You can't have children. You don't understand. We went to the doctors. Doctors are saying everything is fine. Your husband is fine. You're also fine. But you can't have children. You are sterile. You go to church. You begin to pray, fasting 40 days and 40 nights, crying and screaming, Father, give me a child. Give me a child, Father. Oh, but maybe you were created with a karmic body that is sterile because in your past experiences, all you did was abort children. Spirits were coming from the spiritual kingdom, house number 2, trying to come and have an experience. You were blocking them. You're creating a crossbrook. You are blocking their life. You get pregnant, you abort. You get pregnant, you abort. The spirits are coming, you keep killing them. Okay, karmic body, boom. You cannot have a child. Are you going to pray in the church to reverse that? No, that is your karma. You have to live with it. The best thing you can do is adopt children, build some charities, take care of orphans to repair your karma. So there are some things that happens to us in the world is because of the decisions that we made. That child is so lucky. He's born in the house of Jeff Bezos. His father is a billionaire. My God, that child is so lucky. How come he's born in the family where they have money? They have so much money. He's the son of the owner of Mercedes company. Some of us are so unlucky. What is this? No, maybe that child is the one that invaded Mercedes Benz. He has just come to take what he built back. A good example. But our court Makud invents the first car that the first car that can fly. He begins to spend nights and days trying to develop this concept of a car that can fly. He arrives at 40, 50 years old, and now the cars begin to take investors and everything. Sadly, around 60, 70 years old, Mr. Akkot dies, but he leaves the ideas of his inventions behind. Maybe his child continues that invention, and one day the invention of flying car, Akkot Incorporation, becomes one of the top companies in the world. That is the work of Brother Akkot, registered in the universe. What happens? If Brother Akkot is to come back by reincarnation, most likely he will reincarnate back into the family where that company, either the CEO or the managing director, him and his wife, when they come together to have a child, but Akkot incarnates to that baby and what inherits his own invention. There is no injustice in the universe. So when you begin to understand spirituality, you begin to put your life in order. You're protesting against racism. You hate white people so much. Why? Ask yourself. You protest in hate. Protest in love, my dear brothers and sisters. If you've come to repair, you're born, there are even children who are born in bodies where they are, in Lingala we say kizengi, trisonium 23, something like that, where you cannot speak, you cannot talk, you cannot, it's like you're like a fool, a dumb person. The Bible says that for you to go to heaven, you have to believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. A child who is dumb, cannot hear, has no eyes, he will believe in what? Some people even say, okay, if a child is born and then the child dies after 6 months, where would that child go? Oh no, we'll look at the faith of the parent. If the father was a Christian, the mother was a Christian, the child will go to heaven. No, the child is doing his own experience. It's an individual spirit. You see, so my dear brothers and sisters, spirituality makes you really understand life and really understand exactly why we came into the world. 5 questions of life. Who am I? Identity. Where am I from? Source. Why am I here? Purpose. What can I do? Potential. Where am I going? Destination. Life on earth is just temporal. To have these cars and having a good life and eating KFC and McDonald's and marrying and having so many wives, I don't know. It is just temporal. But the bigger life is in the spiritual kingdom where you live. Life on earth is temporary, my dear brothers and sisters. Even some people don't believe in reincarnations. For them, 40 years on earth, that is it. That is why materialism is very dangerous, because if you believe in the paradigm of the West, you think the 40 years you have in this earth, that is it. That is why our African leaders, once he gets into power, he wants to make sure that he eats enough, because for him, death is the end. Physical death is the end. Forgetting that you have become a president of a country, God has given you an opportunity to elevate your nation, organize your country, distribute goods and services equally so everybody can have a good experience, so everybody can also, enjoy life physically to attain spiritual values. No, you take the money of the people, you put in your pocket, your wife flies to Paris for shopping, your children drive expensive cars. You are depriving other people of good life because you think life is YOLO, you only live once. You die. Astro World. You appear before the 72 judges. You have to come and repair. So the window of reincarnations are coming to an end. It means there's no more going and coming back. I'm sorry. The windows of reincarnations are coming to an end. There's no more when you die, you go, you repair, you have to come back to repair, because we are now in the time of Aquarius. It means God the Creator himself or herself will be coming in the reign of 1,000 years to lead humanity for those who would like to return to the spiritual kingdom. So they're giving 1,000 years for those who want to participate in the reign of 1,000 years. So they are cleaning up the universe. The earth has entered into a car wash. They're cleaning up all the evil of the world so they can be able to prepare the path for the great king who will be coming very soon in the reign of 1,000 years. So it means even the windows of going to the astral world and coming back to repair is closing, because the earth has now risen to the 5th dimension. It means anybody who is in the 3rd dimension, it will be very difficult to incarnate back, because you will not be in affinity. It means once you die, you go to the prisons, and you have to wait up to when the reign of 1,000 years will finish, when every other spirits have reincarnated, have resurrected out back to the spiritual kingdom. Now the mothers of the day will be giving birth to you. You that are in the prisons will now be born on the earth. Read the Revelation. Read Revelation. It speaks about this. This beast was locked up for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, the beast was now released. You see, so all these are symbolic languages for you to be able to understand. So spirituality makes a person very responsible. When you are a spiritual person, money does not mean anything to you. Money is just a service. You use it, you work. If you work justly, you get money. If you work fairly, you get money, but you use that money to help yourself and your family and help others. If you're a spiritual person, you don't need a mansion with 5 bedrooms. No, if you have your wife and 2 kids, why do you need a house with 5 bedrooms and 5 cars? Why? That's materialism. If you're a spiritual person, why do you need to have a wardrobe with 15 to 20 clothes? Why? All people outside don't have food and don't have clothes to wear. Why? If you're a spiritual person, even your life begins to change, because you begin to live from the inward out and not from the outward in. Pastor Yeshua gave an example. He said that you clean the outside of the cup, but you leave the inside of the cup dirty. Master Yeshua was a spiritual man. So spirituality is what? Kimuntu, living in Ubuntu. Spirituality is living from the inside out. Your cup is clean. And your cup being clean, even your outside becomes clean. So this brings us to the end of our session for today, my dear brothers and sisters. Apologies for making it longer. We just wanted to explain a few things to you. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa, the Zola Bantu class has 9 members. We have a group for that. If you like us to add you to that group, you can put your number in the chat, and you have to attend the other classes also. And then we have some questions also. You can be able to answer them, and then we'll be able to add it to the class. So after Dominic, I'll get back to you right now. So Cynthia said you can add me. Yes, we can add anybody else want to be part of the Zola Bantu class. We have an entire Zola Bantu class page on our website. You click over there, you'll be able to see the other students who are there. You'll be able to see the previous classes. Please watch them, even an hour a week. You have 24 hours in a day. Just give 1 hour a week to watch one class, see if you have questions, answer the questions, and then let us be able to understand this foundation. But because the first class is paradigm, if you don't understand the paradigm, it's very difficult to understand anything in the world, because the entire world is run in a certain paradigm. We have built our universities, we have structured our life, our food system, our money system, our design, our education system is built on one particular paradigm, the paradigm of accumulation of riches. So as long as we're in that paradigm, we cannot do anything for Africa. You cannot. Because if you're in the paradigm of accumulation of riches, you just become the next oppressor of your own people, easily. So I would like to open up a mic to get your inputs on what we've discussed so far, and then we'll come to the end of our session. Let's start. Miss Cynthia, what are your thoughts so far? And then we can have others. Miss Cynthia.
Deep and a lot of information. Just this was kind of an awakening for me.
Hallelujah.
Because what you spoke about, it was also taught to me from before. I just like to go over lessons from Pastor Mello, Brother Kefas,
Hallelujah.
Mikael Massa,
Hallelujah.
Jonathan Salimbo.
Hallelujah.
I just like refreshing, basically. And what you said is true, because when you start walking in that path of righteousness,
Hallelujah.
or you are attempting to be cleansed and awaken, you have a lot of disturbance, a lot of distraction. The main thing is focus, faith, and I do fear the Most High. I do fear what He can do to me. Things that have been done in my past was because of other people. Because when you're young, you don't have control over your life, right? You're a child, and you have to be obedient to the adults, and you're not taught the things that we're taught now. You know, when they're colonized and when your family is broken because of the rich and the evil.
Our Majesty Ra, Nimbumbaloa, he was chosen among the 7 to carry out a great duty, a work of wonder and success. He did it well. All he ever asked was to be respected and recompensed for the work he did. Was he recompensed? No! Was he recompensed? No! 7 cosmic communities, all given to sheeps, and good-for-nothing humans that we formed and shaped with our hands, humans that we taught how to live and survive in the environment, humans that we taught how to master the animal body, all because they are sons of the Force upstairs. The Force must fall. We rule Babylon and most of the earth. We were locked up and out of control, but now we have control. The sheeps messed up and created an opportunity for us. And now their home is closer to us than ever. Infiltrate them, generals. Be alert. We have to win. Deputy, how many of ours have infiltrated their realm?
All hail Mfumu Solomon. We currently stand at 2 billion successful infiltrations. Up to 3 billion souls come directly from Babylon. Many of our agents run that place.
Very good, but it is not enough. I want infiltrations in all areas in space. Take advantage of their free will. It was given to them as a power, but they have no understanding of it or how to use it. We will use it to our advantage. My people, we only have 400 years left to take full control of the harvest. The 10 virgins will miss the wedding. A piece of the Force plans to visit to reinforce them and lock us out. We will be ready just like the last time when we killed the sun.
You know, you don't get to learn anything. You just, what they give you is what you have to eat. I started off drowning, and then I got the breath of life from Tatana Zambi.
Hallelujah.
I was actually dead at birth, right? So that's to say I was brought back through the angels that he sent, right?
Hallelujah.
So I'm not perfect. I repent every day. I understand that if I don't walk correctly and if I don't obey those commandments that are given by Tatana Zambi, not by man, that my life can be cut short at any time. I don't hold the key to living. I have to hold the key that Tatana Zambi made and has given me. This walk is not, it's not easy, and it's not, it's kind of overwhelming, but it's joyful, right? You get a piece of everything. Yeah, you get a piece of good, you get a piece of bad, and you get a piece of the middle. So I am definitely walking, or trying to walk properly, and I'm trying to still soak in every piece of information that I get. I give all Kimbo and praises, and I glorify the Most High. And this is why I don't really have like too many outside friends that I hang with anymore, because of the change of my life that took place. So
thank
it
you so
was
much.
either you walk with me or you walk against me. So I was chosen to walk with Dathana Zambi. I was chosen to give a second chance at life. So I literally took the path of his direction. So
Hallelujah.
I'm here because he wants me here. It's not because I want to be here, even though I understand of being here now, and I'm proud that I'm at this point in my life. But the message is powerful, and I'm not going to shoot anyone down because they don't understand, and knowledge is a key that takes time for people to soak in. So I'm just blessed to be here, and
thank you so much for that, Miss Cynthia. Thank you so much. You know, she said that she's trying. I love when she said that she's trying, because, you know, spirituality is effort. Spirituality is effort. You know, when you go to school, and I remember when I was in the university, in the first semester, we had 8 courses, and I passed 5 of them. I failed 3. And then when I moved on to the second semester, I had to rewrite the courses that I failed in the next semester. You see, so spirituality is an effort. You fall and you come back. Whatever you were not good at, you improve on it. That is how we grow towards spirituality. But religion is very dangerous, because you come, they tell you just come, confess, you enter into water, you come out, you're not a sin anymore. It's a lie. Next thing, the person is doing the same thing that he did. You see, so religion is very dangerous, because you think you can change a person in one day. They come to your church, you put your hand on them, they enter into water, you baptize them. I don't know what you call those kind of things, and the person changes immediately. No. Even a person who smokes a cigarette, if he's smoking 30 packets, encourage him to try at least 20 a week. After that, encourage him to try even 30 a week. 10 a week, up to when you see your person is now smoking 1 cigarette a week. And then immediately you no longer smoke anymore. So religion makes you think you can change a person in one day, repent, and that's it. God has cleaned you. No. Some people, it can take them 10 years to change, and God is seeing your effort. Some people, it can take them 5 months to change. That is why you cannot attain consciousness in one single reincarnation. People who think that, okay, life is only once, people who think you only live once. No, you cannot come to earth and spend 40 years and all of a sudden you have gained consciousness. No, it takes a long time. That is why reincarnation is important. It's important because you come back and pick up from where you left from. Even though you start at 0, because people say, okay, if I reincarnated, how come I don't remember the things that I knew when I did in my past life? Because suppose you're writing an exam, Dominic, and in that exam you fail 20% out of 100. You knew the questions of the exam. Now you come back to rewrite the exam. If they give you the same questions of the exams that you failed, obviously you cheat. So we start at 0 and we begin to open up slowly so we cannot cheat. Imagine you wake up all of a sudden as a child, you knew that you were this person in that life, you were this person in that life. It would be catastrophic. Many people cheat. No, that is why sometimes you're born again as a child. You have to learn how to walk again. You grow and become a teenager. And then from time to time, some habits will be coming into your life as a reminder of certain choices that you made, and you have to conquer them. Suppose you are a young person at age of 14, all of a sudden you're having ideas of having girlfriends and, going around clubbing, things like that. And you see that these are opportunities for you to be able to conquer them. But thank you so much, Brother Kot. Thank you so much for joining us today. Brother Jesse has a question for us, so I'd like to have Brother Jesse last. Let's have Ankara. Ankara, you like to say something before we close our session for today? Ankara. Ankara, you there? Okay, let's have Martin Wefuni. Martin. Yeah, Martin, you can unmute your mic. Yeah, Martin, you can unmute your mic. Okay, we're coming to the end of our session soon. Let's have Miss Pauline Twambo from Zambia has joined us. Miss Pauline, how are you doing, Miss Pauline? Welcome. Miss Pauline? Okay. Michelle is here. Michelle, thank you for joining us since the beginning. You want to say something, Michelle, before we end our session? Yeah.
Well, I have learned a lot, especially about death, where the spirit goes, how it.
Wow, thank you so much.
And yeah, it has been eye-opening. I would like to know more, so I think I'm going to look for more of your lessons and see.
Yes, it's available on our YouTube page, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much, Miss Michelle, for that. Let's have Yochana Masumba. I think that's Mr. Masumba. Mr. Masumba, you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you so much. Avi, thank you so much for the lesson. I came late. Hello, are you able to get me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. I came late. I missed a lot. I'm going to listen to the presentation later on. I just got some few points when you're talking of karma, why some people are born blind, others, they're born with limbs. There must be why things are like that, and why others are born in rich families, others are born in a war-torn area. Why is it like that? There must be a reason why it's like that. So you have to point this to the karma, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So then maybe as we explain again, I missed some. I think I got interrupted. But I'll go through it so that I get to know more than this.
Wow, thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you so
John.
much for the lesson.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, for that that input as well. Thank you so much. Yes, you see, in the issue of karma and all these things, yes, there are also some issues also which can also affect how people live, even the way the leaders run the country. So sometimes a child can come, the child is innocent, but because of the way the leaders are running the country, the child may face some kind of consequence. That's why leaders who lead the country, they have a greater responsibility before the universe, because if you are given the responsibility of being a leader and you misuse your power, you have to really pay hard for it, especially people who are pastors. If you're a pastor, you're deceiving your congregation. It means once you go before the judge, until the last person you deceived repents, then you will be forgiven. Now imagine you have 1,000 people in your church and you have deceived 1,000 people. It means you'll be locked up in prison until the last 1,000 person repents and finds the way, then you'll be liberated. You see, so what I'm teaching you right now, if I'm teaching you wrong things, it means I have a karma until all of you will come and find the right way before the Creator. Then the Creator will forgive me, because the Creator runs by laws. So I'm taking a big responsibility. So even you as a person who's a leader, wherever you are in a country, in a church, you have to understand that if you deceive people, if you kill people, if you destroy people's lives, you have to pay. Nothing is lost in the universe. Lavoisier says energy is never lost, but transforms. It's not just energy that you see. No. Every decisions that you made in liberty, yes, but you have to be responsible for it. Don't cause an act, and then when the act begins to backfire on you, you want to run away. No, you have to be responsible to assume it, the responsibility, I can see Brother Andun Tonga has raised his hand. Brother Andun Tonga, yes. And then we can have Brother Jesse. But Andrew, you can unmute your mic.
Thank you so much for your insights. So sorry, pardon me being late. I just joined you late. I don't know if you can get me loud and clear.
Yeah, we can get you, Brother Andrew, yes.
Yeah, I joined the meeting loud and late, very late, and I joined you where you were explaining about incantation and the likes, and yeah, it's really
Sorry, Brother Andrew, if you can unmute again, please. Sorry for that. Brother Andrew, please unmute again.
Okay, can you get me now?
Yeah, go on.
So as I was saying, I joined the meeting late, so I joined you when you were explaining about incantation.
Yes.
So I'm sure it's an interesting topic, and I wish I joined earlier. So my question in short is proof about incantation, because we've got different beliefs. Others believe in heaven, incantation, death being the last thing. So I'd really love to hear from you proof or evidence about incantation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Andrew Tonga. I'll definitely be answering your question, and soon. Let me just see if there's any question from Brother Paulo as well, so I can combine both. Brother Paulo, Brother Jesse. Yes, Brother Jesse.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Brother Jesse.
No, okay, thank you for the lecture. My first question was about the frequency. You say that we vibrate at 50 hertz per second. Can we change the vibration?
Can we change the vibration?
Yeah.
Well, the vibration frequency, it's inscribed as a code as a DNA code in every matter. So different matters have different vibrational frequency. For example, the air vibrates at a different frequency as compared to water, as compared to the words. You see, so every different materials have a different frequency. You see, so if you want to elevate the frequency, it is possible. It's possible to elevate the frequency. For example, people who practice sorcery, they do some incantations and they're able to elevate their frequency to go to higher dimension. For example, in the US Army, they have a place where they called, I think it's being built in Europe, called Sen. In Sen, they're trying to, I don't know if you know of Sen, they're trying to build something that you can enter. I think they've shown it in the movies to prepare your mind, but it's what they're doing. They're building a machine where if you enter into the machine, they put in the power to the point where they increase the vibration and they can do you a time travel. They call it time travel. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to separate your spirit from your body. So they can use that power that they're trying to build. They remove your spirit from your body, and then you go into a different dimension. You go into another dimension like a ghost. You go like a ghost. There's a series on Netflix. I think it's called, I've forgotten the name. These people enter into a machine, all of a sudden there's so much light in the machine, and then they go to a different dimension. So it is possible to increase the frequency, but you have to leave your physical body. You cannot travel in a higher frequency with your physical body. It's not possible. For example, the speed of light, it is very fast. Many of the other dimensional kingdoms, they are in a distance of speed of light. For example, the constellation of Sirius, Kakongo, it is at the distance of 42 light years away from the Earth. 42 light years, it means if you want to get to the constellation of Sirius, you have to fly an engine at 350,000 kilometers per hour. If you fly an engine at 350 kilometers per hour, it will take you 42 years to arrive at Sirius. Now tell me, Brother Paulo, which engine you know here can fly at 350,000 kilometers per hour? It's not possible, because even if I take you, Brother Paulo, and I throw you at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour, you disappear. You'll be dead. So, so it means even the fastest plane in the world is only flies at 14,000 kilometers per hour. The fastest jet on the world flies at 14,000 1,000 kilometers per hour. So people who speak about spaceships, which come from different things, which they teach us about aliens, how did they come to the Earth by spaceship? Because you have to fly an engine at 300,000 to 350,000 kilometers per hour. It will take you 42 years to arrive to the Earth. So how can you put a human being into that kind of machine to fly at that particular speed? It's not possible. It's
the
not
body
possible.
will destroy.
Yes, that is why people only come to the Earth by reincarnation. There is a dome. We live in a dome because the spirit is in a dimension where it can travel that fast. If you read in the Bible, it speaks about Elijah and Elisha. Elisha, when Elijah was about to leave, he entered into a chariot of fire. And then that chariot of fire took him back to the spiritual kingdom. In the Bible, it speaks about a chariot of fire. It is a symbolic and imagery language. There is a spiritual engine that carries the souls of people from one constellation to another. So for example, if a woman is pregnant on the earth and is about to, in the 5th month, a spirit needs to come from house number 2. So they put the spirit in that, we call it in Congo, Kumbi and Tia, a chariot of fire. Kumbi and Tia. So that spirit, that spiritual engine, it can fly from this house number 2 and enter into the 8th atmosphere where the woman is 5 months pregnant, and then the spirit incarnates into the woman's pregnancy, and then the engine goes back. You know, that is how it, but it's not a physical thing. So the whole Hollywood movies where you find spaceships flying, it is cinema. It's not true. It's not true. So to answer your question, Brother Paolo, it is possible to raise the frequency, but you have to get rid of the body in many cases.
All right. I have another question too.
Yes, and then I'll
So,
answer.
You say that we have 18 eyes and you have 9 bodies. So in the biblical stories, sometimes they say there is some angels that are depicted with many eyes all over them. So is this one of the reasons that those angels have many eyes?
No, that is a symbolic language. Thank you so much, Brahima, for joining us as he's leaving. Okay, that is a symbolic language. I think you're speaking about the 4 living creatures that are found in Revelation, and then they have many eyes. I'll prefer to speak to you about this in a different time.
Okay.
Yeah. To answer Brother Andrew Tonga, I'm sorry guys for making the meeting so long. We apologize. To answer Brother Andrew Tonga's mention on the proof of reincarnation. Brother Andrew Tonga, if you do not apply the principle of reincarnation into the existence of humanity, there are some questions which you cannot answer without applying the concept of reincarnation. For example, why are some children born blind? You know, questions like there's some children who are born in bodies where we say in French, trisomie 21, the body where is dumb, you cannot speak, you know, things like that. So how can the universe just put a child who's innocent into a body which is malfunctioning already? That is injustice. Why should your child have legs and my child not to have legs? You cannot say it's the will of God. And Christians will say those kind of questions are questions only God can answer. No, you do not know. Ask. Why would God give you a child who has hands and my child has no hands? Doesn't make sense. You see, some children die at the age of, they are born today, after 8 months they are dead. Where do they go? Because the Christian Bible says you have to receive Christ as the personal and Savior to go to heaven. Where do they go? So there are some questions in life that cannot, if you don't put the concept of reincarnation, it's very difficult. You take children, you put them in one classroom and you teach them the same subjects. But that is absolute stupidity, because every child who has arrived has a level of knowledge they already have built in their past incarnation. That's why you see some children in the classroom, they are very strong at mathematics. Another child is not strong at maths, but you're measuring them with the same questions. But for example, Brother Andrew has had a life of mathematics in his past reincarnation. He has even developed, he has gone far in mathematics. Now, as for me, I am not strong in maths like him. Now you put us in the same classroom and measure us in the same question exam. It is no. So there are some people who are born with certain gifts that they've already developed in their past incarnations, so you cannot so there are some this concept that can be put to be able to say that if you don't put reincarnations in many of these situations, you cannot be able to answer certain kind of questions. Some countries are very well and rich, some countries are poor. You cannot say it's just disorganization of the government and all that. No, there are also a matter of karma. There are karmas that come into play into these kind of things. So there are many situations and questions. If you don't put the law of reincarnation, it is very, very difficult to observe. Even in nature, when you eat a mango, you finish eating the mango goes into the ground, it decomposes, and the seed fall in the ground, and they grow again into a new mango tree. You see? So when your physical body dies or decomposes, your spirit needs to leave. Like I said, the physical body only has 4 phases. It born, it grows, it arrives at maturation, and then it decomposes. But you, the spirit, needs to leave that body, and then you have to enter into a new body to continue your experience. So the physical body is locked in time because it's matter, but your spirit is eternal. That is why you have to go out and come back to incarnate, to continue. Thank you so much. Brother Martin says sharp hand. Thank you, Miss Cynthia, Michelle, Musa. Thank you, Paolo, Brother Jesse. And thank you also, thank you so much, Michelle, on the incarnation. Yes, you have to do some research. Everything that we teach you here, please don't just accept it, okay? Go and do your own research and also arrive at your own conclusion. Spirituality, what we're teaching here is not for you to believe and accept. No, you have to use what we are teaching you here so that you yourself can discover your own truth. Master Yeshua said, the truth shall set you free. No one tells you the truth. You have to discover the truth by yourself. You see? But religion teaches you the truth. Believe this, believe this, believe this. But no, in spirituality, you yourself use your life as an experience. Okay, I was trying this formula. Let me try this. You use your own life as an experience and you grow from there. That's spirituality. In spirituality, you become your own master of your own life. Religion is like you're driving a car. You only know the routes of the car. Stop, 80 kilometers, stop. Don't drive fast, brakes. But in spirituality, you are driving a plane. You know the laws of water, that if you're flying a plane on water, water acts like a magnet. So you need to fly the plane in a certain angle up to avoid the magnet of the water. You see, so when you become a spiritual person, you begin to study the laws. You become a free person. No one is telling you, do this, do this. You yourself begin to directly relate yourself to Tata Nzambi, like how Sister Cynthia said. It's not about her and Tata Nzambi. No one is between the two of you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And this class, I would like us to stop here so we cannot make it too long. Thank you for those people who are watching us live on YouTube. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. You can leave us your phone number, your email on the chat, and we can be in touch with you. Please watch classes 1 to 8 to be able to understand where we're going with all this. Thank you, Mr. Ndai, for being there. Pauline, thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Brother Jesse, Musa, Michelle. Thank you, Martin, for joining us. Thank you, Miss Cynthia, and also Ankara for joining us. This information is for you to take, is for you to use it to experiment, to ask questions. A wise person asks questions. Ask questions, my dear brothers and sisters. Thank you, Michelle, for dropping your number. We'll text you. Thank you, Yohani Masumba, everyone, for joining us for today. And that's the end of our class for today. We'll meet you next class. We shall speak in class number 10. We shall speak about Black people's hatred for their own God-sent leaders. We have a disease. Every time we have somebody to lead us, we hate them and we only praise them when they die. Why is that the case? So we shall speak about this in our class number 10. Thank you so much, Mr. Ndai. Thank you, Ankara, for joining us. You can drop us your email or phone number. We can get in touch with you. And thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful week ahead. Be the best version of yourself. Show people love. Show people justice. And show people and live in purity. Try to make an effort. I say spirituality is an effort. It doesn't mean you need to change today. You can make an effort slowly by slowly. And we have 400 years left. So that's about, let me guess, how many reincarnations? 15 to 17 more reincarnations. So you can still attain spiritual maturity. And not only in this particular lifetime, we still have a long way to go. And let's organize ourselves, live in unity and in love. And one day we shall speak about egregores, because many of you fear America's nuclear weapon. But if you and I create an egregore, we can overthrow a nuclear weapon, because the energies of egregore is more powerful than a nuclear weapon. Our ancestors knew these things. The whites came to Africa and their bullets were bouncing on our spears. Why? Because we had priests, ngunzas, that produced egregores that protected our armies. Our armies would go to battle, they will come back, they will go through 7 days of purification. Before even going to sleep with your wife, you have to go through 7 days of purification, because you had to be cleansed from that trauma of war. But today, you find these videos, a military guy spent 2 years in Iraq, next thing, he comes to his family home. That is catastrophic. All that trauma of war, you don't go through cleansing with the priest. Immediately you come to your family and you are seeing the consequences. Army people in America and around the world doing so many things. They've lost their heads, but our ancestors knew these things. You went to war, you come back, 7 days of purification. After that 7 days, if you pass the purification process, then you can join the community. You see, so we've lost some of these cultures and value and virtues of our African cultures that we need to restore. So we love you all. Have a productive week. Always perform better and perform in love with others. Show love to your families and friends, and stay in touch with us. Have a beautiful week. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Thank you, Miss Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Ankara. Thank you, Miss Tendai. Thank you, Ankara. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Musa, for joining us today. Thank you, Pauline. And thank you, Johanna Masumba.
Our Majesty Ra, Nimbumbaloa. He was chosen among the 7 to carry out a great duty, a work of wonder and success. He did it well. All he ever asked was to be respected and recompensed for the work he did. Was he recompensed? No! Was he recompensed? No! 7 cosmic communities, all given to sheeps, and good-for-nothing humans that we formed and shaped with our hands, humans that we taught how to live and survive in the environment, humans that we taught how to master the animal body, all because they are sons of the force upstairs. The force must fall. We rule Babylon and most of the earth. We were locked up and out of control, but now we have control. The sheeps messed up and created an opportunity for us. And now their home is closer to us than ever. Infiltrate them, generals. Be alert. We have to win. Deputy, how many of ours have infiltrated their realm?
All hail Mfumu Solomon. We currently stand at 2 billion successful infiltrations. Up to 3 billion souls come directly from Babylon. Many of our agents run that place.
Very good, but it is not enough. I want infiltrations in all areas in space. Take advantage of their free will. It was given to them as a power, but they have no understanding of it or how to use it. We will use it to our advantage. My people, we only have 400 years left to take full control of the harvest. The 10 virgins will miss the wedding. A piece of the force plans to visit to reinforce them and lock us out. We will be ready just like the last time when we killed the sun.
esclave des dettes. C'est plus que la prison. Laissez-moi m'en aller, arriver à ma destinée. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Vous amassez des ressources chez moi, après vous me les prêtez. C'est la tête sans fin, payez-moi, je vous en prie. J'ai essayé de m'épanouir, vous liguez mes feux contre moi. J'ai essayé de me libérer de vous, vous les rebelles contre moi. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Vous qui vous dites nation chrétienne, nous sommes les frères en Jésus-Christ, liés par la parole de Dieu. Aimer l'Afrique, c'est votre sœur. Le créateur des cieux et la terre n'a-t-il pas dit après 50 ans, laissez l'esclave s'en aller, attendre la liberté. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Africa, Africa, non, 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 Africa, non, 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 accorde ma liberté. Oh Seigneur, tu es la plus grande révélation de la vie. Il n'y a que toi qui connais le bouton sur lequel il faut appuyer pour que l'Afrique soit sauvée. Dis un mot pour l'Afrique. Dis un mot pour l'Afrique afin que l'Afrique soit sauvée. Oh Jesus. Africa, 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 accorde ma liberté. Africa, Africa, non, 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 Africa, non, 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 accorde ma liberté. Vous amassez des ressources chez moi, après vous me les prêtez. Cela est un poids sans fin, déliez-moi, je vous en prie. J'ai essayé de m'épanouir, vous liguez mes feux contre moi. J'ai essayé de me libérer de vous, vous les rebelles